The Oligarch, the Treason Charge, and the Croatian Estate, Part 1. A Man on the Run. The Ukrainian intelligence agency has uncovered a troubling story. A Ukrainian tycoon, suspected of treason, accused of conspiring with Moscow, and wanted on an arrest warrant, has been living a life of luxury far from the reach of Ukrainian justice. His name is Vadym Novynskyi, referred to as Nobovsky or Novyskiy in your source, clarified as Vadym Novynskyi, a real Ukrainian oligarch and former politician. He is 62 years old. And according to the Ukrainian intelligence agency, Sputnik, note, Sputnik is typically a Russian state news agency. This may be a transcription error for a Ukrainian agency, such as the SBU. Novynskyi has moved to Croatia. There, he has registered his residence. There, he purchased a large, lush estate outside the city of Zagreb. And there, he now waits, wanted by his own country, protected by Croatian law, and watched by intelligence agencies across Europe. Part 2. The Suspicion of Treason. The charges against Novynskyi are severe. He is suspected of treason, specifically for activities carried out in the name of the Russian Orthodox Church. The Church, which has openly supported Moscow's war in Ukraine, served as a cover for his alleged collaboration with the Kremlin. In 2025, a Ukrainian city court convicted Novynskyi in absentia. He was not present for the trial. He did not hear the verdict read. He was already gone, already beyond the reach of Ukrainian bailiffs and arrest warrants. The court placed him on the arrest list. But an arrest list means nothing if the man cannot be found. Part 3. A fortune built on Ukrainian resources. Novynskyi is worth millions of dollars. According to the newspaper BNO, source name unclear, likely a Ukrainian or European outlet, he owns the Smart Holding Group, which in turn owns Balkvamen, likely Balsam or a similar mining company. The timeline of his business dealings tells a damning story. 2006 to 2014, Novynskyi controlled the company through Smart Holding Group. These were the years leading up to Russia's annexation of Crimea. 2014, Russia annexed Crimea. The company underwent a transformation. It was renamed Gardel Holdings Limited, a Cyprus-based company. Control was transferred to Novynskyi's half-brother, Assad, a common tactic used by sanctioned oligarchs to hide assets. 2022, Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Ukraine's National Security and Defense Council imposed sanctions on the company. The company specializes in the extraction and processing of limestone and new rock, critical materials for construction and infrastructure. According to investigators, the company repeatedly supplied equipment to state-owned Russian companies. It participated in projects to develop Russian state infrastructure, including a port in illegally occupied Crimea and the Porta Park, a military amusement park outside a Russian city. Part 4. Paying taxes to Moscow. Perhaps the most damning evidence is financial. The Russian registration number for the company, checked through fraud investigation databases, shows that the company paid more than 2 billion rubles in taxes between 2022 and 2025. That is approximately $26.7 million. In other words, while Ukraine was bleeding, while Ukrainian soldiers were dying, while Russian missiles were falling on Ukrainian cities, Novynskyi's company was paying tens of millions of dollars in taxes to the Kremlin. Those taxes helped fund the Russian war machine. Moreover, staff commissions and local media reports indicate that Russian military equipment, believed to be used in the invasion, was handled by the company. The war is now in its 5th year, and Novynskyi's alleged collaboration appears to have lasted just as long. Part 5. A Politician's Thanks from Crimea. In 2024, a member of the Russian parliament, specifically a representative from the ruling United Russia Party stationed in the occupied Crimean city of Sevastopol, recorded a video message. In that message, he expressed special thanks to Novynskyi's enterprise. The parliamentarian stated that his party, together with Novynskyi's company, actively supports the Russian military in areas of combat operations. The support, he said, provides resources necessary for the Russian state for the war against Ukraine. He added a chilling detail. There were no cases when soldiers from the front who contacted you did not receive assistance. According to Kant.ru, a Russian news outlet, Novynskyi's company, Smart Holding, is one of several companies controlled by the oligarch. Ukrainian investigators have also identified connections between Novynskyi and a former Ukrainian MP, suggesting a network of pro-Russian influence within Ukraine's own government. Part 6. The Croatian Estate. While Ukrainian investigators built their case, Novynskyi was building something else, a new life in Croatia. Documents reviewed by SCAM, likely an investigative journalism group, show that Novynskyi registered his residence in a building in the Croatian capital, Zagreb. But his primary asset is far more impressive. Outside the city of Zmijovci, near Zagreb, Novynskyi owns a 7-hectare estate. That is approximately 17 acres. The property includes a residential building of over 1,400 square meters, a vineyard, a swimming pool, a 200-square-meter basement, a 200-square-meter outdoor building. Croatian news outlet Yugoslavia reported in 2025 that the property was purchased from a local Croatian businessman for 10.5 million euros. The same outlet described the estate as the most beautiful residential building in Croatia. He bought it last year. A lush, sprawling estate in a peaceful European country, far from the bombs, far from the investigators, far from justice. Part 7. The Lawyer's Defense. When asked to comment, Novynskyi's legal representative, a Spanish lawyer named Talon Gonzalez, offered a defense. He stated that Novynskyi is a strong supporter of Ukraine. He noted that the Russian Federation has long sanctioned the man, which, he argued, prevents any evidence of involvement with Russian entities from being legitimate. The lawyer's response, however, provided no concrete evidence, no documents, no witness statements, no proof of his client's supposed support for Ukraine. The most revealing detail came from the Russian government itself. It confirmed that sanctions against Novynskyi were lifted in 2020, well before the war, and there is no evidence that Novynskyi was re-sanctioned after that year. Part 8. From Russian to Ukrainian to fugitive Novynskyi's biography is complicated. He is a native Russian who obtained Ukrainian citizenship in 2012. In 2019, he was elected to the Ukrainian parliament as a member of the Opposition Platform for Life, a major pro-Russian party that was banned after Russia's full-scale invasion. In 2023, the Ukrainian state confiscated Novynskyi's assets worth 10 billion hryvnias, approximately $228 million. The confiscation came amid investigations into suspicions that he was conspiring with the Russian invaders. Later, he was officially suspected of embezzlement. The charges related to his role in maintaining the Russian Orthodox Church in Ukraine and failing to pay taxes totaling 4 billion hryvnias, approximately $91 million. In 2025, a court in Kyiv ordered his arrest in absentia on charges of treason. He was placed on the wanted list, but by then he was already gone. Part 9. The German TV Interview. In late March 2026, Novyskiy gave a controversial television interview on German TV. It was his first major public appearance since fleeing Ukraine. During the interview, he denounced Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. He claimed that he left Ukraine after being informed of impending criminal charges. A security officer warned me to leave, Novyskiy said. Zelensky demanded my arrest every day. That is why I had to be outside. When asked about the claim, Zelensky's office responded with cold dismissal. We really don't care what that guy said, a spokesman told Sky News. They referred to Novynskyi as a powerful person who tried to turn Ukraine into Russia, a man with political connections now hiding somewhere abroad. Then came the words that shocked Ukrainian viewers. Part 10, Friendly Relations with Russia. In the same interview, Novynskyi made a statement that revealed his true allegiance. The most important condition for Ukraine's security is friendly relations with Russia, he said. Everything else is meaningless, he continued. If Ukraine has good relations with a friendly and strategic neighbor like Russia, we will always have security. These words, spoken while Russian missiles continued to fall on Ukrainian cities, while Russian soldiers continued to occupy Ukrainian territory, while thousands of Ukrainian civilians lay in mass graves, exposed the oligarch's worldview. Despite the war, despite the evidence, despite everything, he still believes Ukraine should bow to Moscow. Part 11. Where is he now? According to sources who spoke to investigative journalists on condition of anonymity, Novynskyi left Ukraine in June 2022, just a few months after Russia launched its full-scale invasion. He has not returned for nearly a year. In an interview with the investigative site, Novynskyi claimed he currently lives in an unspecified European country. But video evidence tells a different story. Footage shows him staying at the Hotel Belvedere in Opatija, Croatia, a luxurious seaside resort on the Adriatic coast. Croatian documents reviewed by investigators show his registered residence in a building in Zagreb. Land registers and title deeds confirm his ownership of the 7-hectare estate in Zmijavci. He is not hiding. He is living openly, comfortably, expensively. Part 12. The Unanswered Questions. The case of Vadym Novynskyi raises troubling questions, questions that Ukrainian investigators cannot answer, Croatian authorities have not addressed, and European intelligence agencies are quietly watching. Question: why it matters. How did Novynskyi evade sanctions? He transferred assets to a Cyprus-based company controlled by his half-brother, a common oligarch tactic. Why is Croatia allowing him to reside there? Croatia is an EU member. EU sanctions should apply, yet Novynskyi lives openly in Zagreb. What happened to the $228 million in confiscated assets? The Ukrainian state seized them, but has the money been recovered? Why was he not arrested before leaving Ukraine? He left in June 2022, just months after the invasion. Why was he allowed to leave? What is his current relationship with Russian intelligence? His continued support for friendly relations with Russia suggests ongoing ties. Part 13. A Pattern of Impunity. Novynskyi is not alone. He is one of many Ukrainian oligarchs with pro-Russian sympathies who have fled the country since the invasion began. Some have gone to Israel, some to Cyprus, some to the United Arab Emirates, and some, like Novynskyi, to Croatia. The pattern is always the same. Build a fortune through Ukrainian resources and Russian connections. Transfer assets to shell companies in Cyprus or other offshore havens. Flee Ukraine before criminal charges can be filed. Settle in a European country that does not extradite. Live openly, comfortably, and without consequence. Part 14. The Cost of Treason. The numbers in this case are staggering: $26.7 million. Taxes paid to Russia between 2022 to 2025. $228 million. Assets confiscated by Ukraine in 2023. $91 million. Unpaid taxes owed to Ukraine, 10.5 million euros. Price of the Croatian estate, 7 hectares. Size of his property, 17 acres, 1,400 square meters. Size of his main residence. But the true cost cannot be measured in money. It is measured in Ukrainian lives lost, in Russian missiles funded by taxes from companies like Novyskiy's, in a war that has now entered its 5th year, fueled in part by the collaboration of a man who once sat in Ukraine's own parliament. Part 15. The Future. As of now, Vadym Novynskyi remains in Croatia. His arrest warrant means nothing there, at least for now. His assets are confiscated in Ukraine, but his wealth survives in Cyprus and Croatia. His political connections are severed, but his influence may still reach across borders. Ukrainian investigators continue to gather evidence. European intelligence agencies continue to watch. And Novynskyi continues to live in his beautiful Croatian estate, with its vineyard, its swimming pool, and its 200-square-meter basement. Whether justice will ever catch up to him is a question no one can answer. But one thing is certain. While Ukrainian soldiers die in the trenches of Donbass, the man who helped fund their enemy sleeps peacefully in a house described as the most beautiful residential building in Croatia. And somewhere in that gap, between the battlefield and the vineyard, lies the true meaning of treason.